Mexico has joined the investigation into the deaths of at least 51 suspected illegal immigrants found in Texas. They were stuck inside a tractor trailer in sweltering conditions. A city worker heard a cry for help from the truck that was parked on a San Antonio back road late Monday afternoon. Police discovered the gruesome scene inside of the trailer. The Mexican president addressed the tragedy at his daily briefing.
Porque también hay tráfico.
It happens because there is also human trafficking and lack of control at the border between Mexico and the United States and inside the United States.
His comments echo what Texas Governor Greg Abbott said. Abbott criticized President Biden's policies, tweeting, "These deaths are on Biden and they are a result of his deadly open border policies." Thousands of people have lost their lives attempting to cross the U.S.-Mexico border in recent decades. Next, to assess the ongoing border crisis, we have Richard Mack, a former county sheriff from the state of Arizona. Sheriff Richard Mack, thank you so much for joining us on the Capitol Report.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm really grateful to be a part of your show today.
Sheriff, at least 50 people died in that sweltering hot tractor trailer. I believe the number might be up to 51 at this point, entering the country illegally. Do you think this will be enough to drive change in policy when it comes to the southern border?
No, I really don't think anybody in the White House or Congress really is too concerned about this. There have been people dying at the border for a long time, and the mules have been manipulated by the cartels to the extent that many hundreds have died at the border. As long as the coyotes get their money, and as long as these cartels get their money, that's all they care about. And as long as the Democrats are getting more voters coming into the country, that's all they care about. Obviously, Biden has not cared about the border problem since way before he was in office. He was vice president while the border was open to all of Latin America and other countries as well. We know that people from 150 different countries have entered through the southern border, many of them from Middle Eastern countries who are enemies. That's all been documented, and at least 50,000 members of terrorist groups from the Middle East have infiltrated America during the past 20 years.
Another thing that President Biden just said recently regarding this tragedy that took place down there, he said that political grandstanding around a tragedy like this is shameful. What is your reaction to those comments?
Well, I don't know who he's talking about necessarily, but he's right. I don't want to political grandstand about any of this. I want the problem solved. And he's the one that's supposed to be solving it. So is he the one? What is he doing? I would love to see him grandstand something, whether it's political or just moral or responsibility, that we take care of something going on at the border. You cannot ask Latin Americans from any of the countries south of the border to not come into our country and then offer them free housing, free education, jobs, and not have to pay taxes, and allow them to vote and give them social security. That says, come here all you want. And of course they're going to try to come. We've got to stop the entitlements to illegal immigrants. We've got to stop the freebies to illegal immigrants, or of course they're going to do anything they can to come here. And I don't blame them. But that's another thing.
Sheriff, another crisis that we have related to the southern border is an opioid crisis. Americans are dropping dead literally across the country because of this poison. And, when it comes to the border wall, there's some people that say that the wall was a political statement rather than a practical tool in protecting the border and the flow of drugs and people and whatnot. What can you say to that as a former sheriff in the border state of Arizona?
I agree with you totally about the opioid crisis, and all of these opioid drugs have been approved by the FDA, that is overseen by our United States Congress. If they really wanted to do something about it, tell them to stop taking the money from Big Pharma that's supporting this, and tell the corrupt politicians in Washington, D.C. To stop taking this money and stop adhering to whoever gives them money. That's who we defend with our legislation at the federal level. This is such a corrupt system. And right now, the opioid crisis is taking the back seat to all these other crises that have been caused by the Biden administration. And what does Congress do? Hold the third impeachment on Donald Trump. This is so exasperating and so shameful of where we spend our time and money in Washington, D.C., instead of really trying to solve problems that they have created. And so the drug proliferation at the border is astonishing. This lies at the foot of the United States Congress and of the White House. They are all culpable in every bit of this. And yes, I have been preaching against doctors being drug dealers, giving out these opioids to everybody in the country. And this is a drug-addicted nation.
Sheriff, I see your cap there, CSPOA. Tell us, where can people learn more about your work?
Well, the CSPOA, both my shirt and my hat, we believe is the only peaceful and effective solution to what's going on. The border sheriffs are going to have to work with their governors in securing the border, the federal government notwithstanding. Everybody can become a member of our CSPOA posse.
Sheriff Richard Mack, thank you so much. George Washington University's School of Law is keeping Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas as an adjunct professor, despite calls for his removal. Over 6,000 students signed an online petition calling for the school to remove the justice from teaching. This is because of Thomas's role in the Roe v. Wade decision last week, as well as his conservative views. George Washington University administrators responded to the petition. They said that they support the robust exchange of ideas and deliberation, and that, like all faculty members, Justice Thomas has academic freedom and freedom of expression and inquiry. The university decided that they would not remove Justice Thomas or cancel his classes. I had a moment to sit down with NBA free agent Enes Freedom at today's summit. Freedom shared about his personal journey about defending human rights and how it cost him his career. Enes Freedom, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
And since leaving the NBA, you've ventured into the realm of human rights. Tell us what's motivated you and what your experience has been like in this journey.
You know, to be honest, the last 7-8 months has been very lonely. Unfortunately, when you talk about some of the uncomfortable situations that are happening in our world, and when the organization that you play for cannot take the exposure of the hypocrisy, so that's why it's been very lonely and tough, to be honest. But now, whenever I go to these kind of events, whenever I go around and see some activists, and whenever I go around and see journalists who has been persecuted by their government, and it gives me so much hope to stand with them. And I'm like, well, maybe I lost my job, but now I have a new family. Now I work with all the activists around the world and see how I can help them and what I can learn from them. So it's been an amazing experience.
So why are you at the International Religious Freedom Summit?
You know, growing up, I had a very tough childhood. I remember, I was 8-9 years old, and Turkey was going through a very rough time politically. And I remember one day I went downstairs to play with my friends, and the things that I experienced just shocked me. I remember my friends were burning American flags, Israeli flags. They were telling me to hate Christians and Jewish people, and they were telling me they're the most evil person. And I was like so shocked and scared. I immediately ran upstairs to my mom, and I was like, Mom, my friends were telling me to hate America, hate Israel, hate Christians, hate Jewish people. What should I do? And my mom is like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but do not hate anyone before you meet them. And I remember first time landing in America when I was 17 years old. I was super nervous and super scared. But the thing that I have experienced here opened my eyes. You know, people took me to mosques. People took me to eat some halal food. I was feeling so comfortable to telling them about my culture and religion. And I was like, everyone in the world should experience this. So I'm here, first of all, to learn, not to talk, to learn, and educate myself about what's going on around the world. So I can be helpful to them. Obviously, the platform that given me by God has enormous reach. So that's what I do, whatever I can to just bring awareness about what's going on around the world.
You're meeting lots of people on your journey right now, politicians, well-known people. Are they feeling the weight and urgency of the message that you carry?
So the first message that I always give them is stop condemning. I don't need your condemning. I don't want you to feel bad. Take some actions. Whenever I sit down with some of the politicians or some of the world leaders, actually, some of the the presidents or vice presidents of the European Parliament, the first thing I say, I was like, enough with the condemning. Condemning is not going to take us anywhere. Stop with the diplomatic boycott, because it shows something. There is a problem, but you are not doing anything. You're not taking any kind of actions. What can we do to help those people? We need to take some concrete action. So whenever I sit down with these world leaders, politicians, or whoever they are, I'm like, okay, what can we do for them? So that's why we put some kind of like legislation out there. We actually take some kind of actions to help those people, because I was very disappointed to all the countries out there in the world, because last year there was Beijing Olympics, and all the countries said we are diplomatically boycotting the Olympics. That is going to show something, but that is not enough. We need to do something, and it did start with the athletes, but unfortunately not any of them could really say anything. I was praying, I'm like, God, please send me one athlete to just talk right before this Olympics, because it was a perfect moment, but unfortunately none of them could say anything. But it's enough condemning. I feel like it's time to start taking some actions. Thank you. I appreciate that.
FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr is asking tech giants Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores. He's concerned that the app, whose parent company is based in China, has been harvesting user data from Americans. Carr posted his letter to Apple and Google on Twitter. It says that there is precedence for removing apps linked to data harvesting in China. The commissioner said that TikTok has been evasive about its policies on data harvesting. Republicans have also raised concerns about the security threat posed by the app. This is after internal leaks show that TikTok is giving its parent company in China access to user data. An audio recording from TikTok meetings obtained by BuzzFeed News revealed that user data like phone numbers and birthdays have been accessed from China.